A Muslim has accused another Muslim of being a kadhab, a liar, without backing up his claim. So what is upon the accuser and the accused? Upon both of them is to make peace, to apologize, and not to use, when you are advising someone, not to use these types of words. You do not speak to your brother in this manner, even if you believe that he has done something that is wrong. Then the bab of nasiha, or the way that you advise, where it begins. I don't say that it ends like that, but it must begin with nasiha, with gentleness, with leniency. Ya akhi, you said something to me the other day, but it turned out not to be true. Rather than saying, Ya kadhab, khabith. How can you speak to another Salafi like that, ya ikhwan? So you say, you said something the other day, but it didn't really make sense to me, and it just seems that it was wrong. That's better. And you say, what did I say? Well, you said this. You said X, Y. That's the way that you approach your brothers. Sometimes you hear even in relations between a husband and wife that the husband turns around and says to you, so you're a kadhaba, you're a khabitha, you're this and you're that. And then in the night time you want to sleep with the woman. And then you wonder why she's upset. You're refusing. You know what the Prophet ﷺ said? Look why you spent the day with the poor woman. In the night you just want to sleep with her now. We have to be just, barakallah. And likewise the wife, with your husbands, in your families, and with your brothers. Salafis, we have no one else except each other upon this ard. We're small enough as it is. Okay, you see a few thousand in this masjid. There's nothing to get excited about, really. Right? Because the vast majority of Muslims aren't upon Salafiyah. Allahul Musta'an. So we have a lot of work to do. But now that you have found the truth and you know the haqq, then we should put in every effort within our ability, no matter where the Salafi is, in this country or even outside this country, to be united, to speak with one word, with the aqeedah that we all have ittifaq upon, which is the aqeedah salafiyya, manhaj salafi, that we adhere to that and we stick to that, and we are not rude to each other. Because these are your brothers, we are family to each other. Sometimes you have your own family members who won't talk to you because you're wearing a hijab. They won't talk to you because you refuse to go to, mixed sex educational environments, because you don't want to go there, so your mother gets angry with you. You're wearing the niqab and your dad gets angry with you. You want to go to the dars and your mother says, why are you going and learn? Go and study, go and make some money. And you hear this kind of stuff. So when you come here, you have people who think like you, they talk like you, they behave like you, upon the sunnah of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And then you're going to make enmity with them as well. Fear Allah, barakallahu feekum. Fear Allah, my brothers. We should be with each other as family. Overlook each other's mistakes. Be polite to each other. Be kind to each other. Reciprocate kindness. Not just to people that you know, but also to those that you don't know. So if you see someone coming to the masjid, new to the dars, don't ignore the man. Sisters, don't ignore the woman. Welcome her. Say, I haven't seen you before. MashaAllah, you're welcome. This is your masjid as much as it is ours. It's Allah's house. I don't own it, you don't own it. It's Allah's house. So therefore, be welcoming. Even if they're a bit harsh. Look how many Bedouins, they used to come to the Prophet ﷺ. One of the Bedouins, he came to the Prophet ﷺ, grabbed the cloth around his neck and tugged on it, pulled on it hard up until the Prophet ﷺ spun to one side, leaving a mark on the side of his neck. He said, Muhammad, give me some of that wealth that Allah has given you. What would you do? Ya khabith, kadhab, get out of here. Look at Rasulullah. Look at Rasulullah. This is in Medina. This is not in Mecca. This is in Medina. He's the ruler. He's the Imam. He's commanding armies to go here and go there, writing letters to emperors of Rome and Persia. And this Bedouin walks out the desert and he grabs him like that, pulls him and leaves a mark on his neck. And he says, give me some money. Give me some of that wealth that Allah has given you. The Prophet ﷺ said, every cattle, all the cattle that you can see between those two mountains, take it. Some of the narration, he says, don't muck with me. He said, no mockery. Take it. So he took it. He went to his people and he said, oh people, become Muslim. Because I met a prophet of Allah. I met a prophet of Allah who gives from his wealth and he does not fear poverty. This is Rasulullah. A man came and urinated in the masjid in the time of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the people got up to go and deal with him aggressively, to pull him. He's urinating in the Masjid al-Nabawi, in the Prophet's mosque, not in this masjid. In the Prophet's mosque in Medina, he's urinated. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prohibited them from attacking him. Yarhamakallah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prohibited them from attacking him. And when he had finished, then the Prophet ﷺ didn't tell him to go and wash it. He said it to one of his companions. He commanded one of them, go and get some water and wash it off. He didn't say to the Bedouin who urinated, look what you've done, go and clean that now. He commanded someone else to go and do it. Then the Prophet ﷺ sat with him and advised him that the masjid is not for that. So how is it that we are behaving with each other in this manner? Salafis with Salafis should be like, like one hand, one body. It doesn't mean that, you have to, you leave your wife and leave your kids and you do everything for everybody else and you ignore your family. It doesn't mean that. Even a kalima tayyiba. A nice word that you say to your brother. A smile that you give to a stranger. There's people that I walk into the masjid every week and I say to myself, I've never seen that brother before. It's possible, it could be. As you get older, you forget you forget things. It's possible. But I do. But wallahi, as far as I'm concerned, his masjid as much as it is mine. It's the house of Allah. You're more welcome to sit at the front as much as everybody else in front of Abu Hakim or Abu Idris or myself. You're sitting in the dark. Sit where you want. This is how we should be. These are our brothers. These are our sisters. And I've been saying this for years because of the complaints that we receive. If we don't know how to behave, then Yawmul Qiyamah, you are answerable. You are answerable for your bad behavior and your bad manners. The best of you are those who are best in manners. O kama qala alayhi salatu wassalam. The best of you in Iman are those of you who are the best in manners. So where are these good manners? وَخَالِقِ النَّاسِ بِخُلُقٍ حَسَنٍ. And deal with the people with the best of manners, the Prophet ﷺ said. So, this type of language is not befitting. Barakallahu feekum. It's not befitting. And this is really the baggage that we bring in. Some of us, from your days when you weren't practicing or you weren't even Muslim. And you bring your anger issues or you bring your evil manners and then you bring them into the ranks. And sometimes you may say it to a person, it drives him away from the da'wah. And that is saddening. Because this da'wah, in terms of what we are calling to already, is a da'wah that is difficult to spread because of the opposition that we have from the da'wat of hizbiyah and bid'ah, from the various calls and the various sects. It's hard enough as it is because of all the opposition. Then a person, you actually come, he wants something from you. He may be that Bedouin, you're walking down the street and he just slaps you in your back. Oi, you Salafi? Then what are you going to say? What are you pushing me for? No, you're going to say, yes, I'm a Salafi. You're not going to now bother with all. Okay, he pushed you, so what? Prophet ﷺ wasn't pushed. Better people than you weren't pushed. And wallahi, when you behave properly, you watch how the people behave properly. The other day, I had to go to A&E with my son. So it was an emergency. You know how A&E is. There's nowhere to park. If you park in the car park, this is Heartlands. Then getting the patient to A&E is going to be hard if he can't walk or if he's immobile. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So I reversed up, there's a big car, and I parked right outside A&E, just on the corner. And I thought, you know what, if it's a ticket, if it's a clamp, I've got to get him into A&E. So the engine's running. I left the mobile phone there, so it's clamped in on the magnet. And the engine's running, lights on. I put the hazards on and I jumped out, engine running. So someone's going, oi, 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 oi. And he says, security. You see the high vis, he's got security. And he's gone, Abu Khadeejah. Wallahi, I don't know. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. He said, Abu Khadeejah. I said, yeah. He said, everything all right? I said, I've got to get him in. I've got to get him in now. So what am I? He goes, you just leave it there. Don't do anything else. You just leave it there. So I went in. So we've signed up everything. I don't know how many, whatever minutes it took. 10 minutes or so or whatever. I came out and the man is standing by the car. And he said, everything okay? Have you sorted out? You can go in. I know. I said, it's all sorted now. He goes, khalas, the car's fine. And it's still running. Engine's still running. Lights are on. Phones in the, you know, on the cradle. Everything's there. So I jumped in the car and I parked it in the car park and then I came back. So now the car's in the car park 5 hours. I got the ticket in my pocket. So came out 5 hours later, about 1 a.m. in the morning or something. And I put the ticket into the machine to pay for the car park. So I'm like, okay, I've got my, the tap. I ain't got no cash on me. So it's £5.80. So I thought, okay. And it says there's this little symbol there, won't accept cards. Go to the kiosk. So I've took the card out, walked round to the kiosk, and I bumped into another security guard who was there as we walked into A&E, Pakistani lad. He's gone, everything all right? I said, yeah, I've just got to go to the kiosk because he doesn't take, he doesn't take the card over there. He goes, brother, how's your son? I said, alhamdulillah, he's settled now. He goes, you don't worry. Allah will take care of him. Inshallah, Allah will take. Clean-shaven guy. Right? No beard, nothing. High-vis security guy. I said, yep, inshallah, you're right. He said, don't worry about the card. When you go around, that bar's going to be up. Just go and drive. I said, you sure? He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. So I went around, the bar's open, so I drove through, out. So what does that show? There are good people out there. You may not see them every day. You may not even recognize them. Right? But there are people who are listening to us. There are people out there listening to this da'wah. Maybe not coming to the masjid. Maybe they're busy with their lives. But there are good people out there. Why should we look at the manners they showed to me? Right? And they showed it to me. I didn't even know who they were. And inshallah, I'd like to think that I would do the same for a person, even if I don't know him. Even if you don't know them. This is the manners that are demanded from the Muslim to the one that you know and the one that you don't know. If you want this da'wah to spread, don't just think it's just a matter of, well, I'm just going to tell them Tawheed and walk away. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, then it's tough. That's not the da'wah of Rasulullah. Rasulullah lived amongst his people. You could walk into a gathering and you wouldn't know which one was the Prophet of Allah. That's how he was with his companions. Humble. Stayed with them with humility. If they went hungry, he went hungry. If they ate, he would eat. He would dress as they dressed and he would walk with them. And he would show them good manners. So who do we think we are, that we're so high and mighty we can't treat people with kindness and goodness? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aid us in that regard. وجزاكم الله خيرا وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.